Hi, Carol. How are you?
Now you're out of place here, you
Are they trying to tell me something? They knew you. When they want me to.
Do we need a plaque on the wall? You know,
Ethan's on here in case you need a county attorney for anything.
Oh, he's on the Zoom.
Yeah.
Okay.
You guys hear me?
I'm not over all this. Is this required? No. This is. Hey, Mr. Walker, how you doing? Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Not her. But they hear what you can't see how it's talking. Yes, you can.
No.
I do it. I was waiting far away. But now have trouble numbers. I appreciate it. I was just more.
Invoices.
That's all right. I mean, if I'm done with this one, I'll be able to do it. Okay, so, thank you. Thank you.
Now, we received some of it, like here. I didn't really vote.
Well, I think Brenda asked us once if we want her to email all the bills that are on the commissioner.
Instead of using the paper.
Well, I mean, Bill, do you get those? What? The bills, Brenda sent emails you the bills that are going to. Commissioner meetings or for. Used to, right? Because I thought that said that was started.
Yeah.
We could talk with Colleen that there could be one bad. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Payroll. Yeah, but payroll.
I'm right in the corner.
Is this yours? Oh, that's for you. I'm sure it's in here somewhere.
Well, these are final.
Jim McKee's on here.
Jim, he's on there. Okay.
Yes.
But we haven't heard from Joe.
Joe will not be here.
Joe will not be here. And we got two sets and then that's the cruise, right?
Yes, special, there was no, even though there was no action. I'll check the other table, my third. You can do.
Brenda,
It's been 4 years, so. Yeah. All 7 years. So.
Signature binders.
Oh.
So I think all of them. Jim will come in later.
So Dale, okay, Dale needs to sign this. Salary ordinance.
I have to have you re-sign because everybody signed May. There.
He's got his.
Call to order the Fountain County Council meeting for November 16th. So everyone had a chance to look over your minutes from the October 19th meeting. Is there any additions or corrections? Hearing none, is there a motion to approve? Tom, second. Bill, all those in favor?
Yes.
Jim?
Yes.
And you can.
He isn't muted.
I'm right here.
That's just video. He's not.
Go hit one more. Where it said mute. Oh. Is he unmuted?
He should be.
Jim?
Yeah, can you hear me?
He's talking, but I can't hear him. Is the volume turned up?
Brenda?
It's right here, yeah. Jim?
Yes.
Okay. Did you say yes on the
Yes.
vote?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. That'll be 6-0. And then our special meeting, October 23rd, there were 4 of us here. There was no action taken. We just listened to the proposal from Amoresco. So is there a motion to, did you type up anything for that?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so
I haven't typed up, I just forgot to.
I
put it
didn't
on
see
the
a copy
agenda.
of it here.
Yeah, I didn't put it on the agenda.
Okay, so who was here?
I didn't put,
Bill.
I think, Jim, you were here.
Yeah.
Were you here?
And Bill is here and myself. Okay, is there a motion to approve the minutes from that
That was a
special meeting?
special meeting, no
Yes.
vote was taken that
We
day.
didn't take any. We just said that we were, all 4 were not for the, we're not inclined to be for the proposal to replace the engineer. We didn't take an official vote. Is there a motion to approve those? And Bill, second? Yeah. Jim Lee, all those in favor? 4-0 on that. Report of collections is submitted. The ambulance clerk, health department recorder, prosecutor, and sheriff, and review and acknowledgement of the treasurer's bank reconciliation and monthly comparison report of funds. Is there a motion to acknowledge?
Can I stop you there?
Yeah.
Because I have not received the recorder, ambulance, prosecutor, or health department,
Okay, so only clerk and sheriff.
and the treasurer.
Yes, and then the treasurer's bank reconciliation. Okay, is there a motion to acknowledge receiving those? Second? Dale, all those in favor?
Yes.
6-0. Commissioners update. Right here?
Yeah,
Okay,
really don't have anything. We're good.
okay, we got a couple things. One, we would like you talked about the furnace, having that repaired, new controls. If we could get a quote for that, and we'd also kind of like to know what, I mean, do they think it's gonna last 5 years, 10 years, 20 years down the road? Just because, you know, once something's done, there's no money budgeted, they've got to come to the council to get the money to do one of these projects. And so we would like to have both things to compare, so that we can make a decision on where the money's gonna come from.
I guess, looking back in retrospect on this situation, the county attorney said we needed like three bids. I mean, as far as the whole scope of it, we've got one that's leaking, you know, pretty bad. And if you wanted to address each over one at a time, you know, take that at a time of material. They're cast iron. I mean, you're just, they make use of it every day. I mean, you buy a brand new boiler, and we were told by Amoresco that the scope of work that was kind of laid out was a little thin, and they thought there needed to be more of a scope and maybe a construction manager and, you know, blah, 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 blah. And I'm for keeping the old heat system just because it's so efficient and it's gonna, you know, heat the courthouse. I think you ran the numbers at $100 or so a day. I thought that was just gas, and you thought maybe that was
No, I figured
power.
lights, water, and heat was $97 a day.
Yeah.
From the figures that Amoresco gave us, I think, which was 2018, so I'm sure it's up a little bit, but still. We did, and I don't think we need the bid. I mean, Amoresco gave us a quote on what they think. We just want a
They
quote
gave us
on,
three different options.
right, and we just want to see an option of repairing what we have and the life of it, so that we can, I mean, we can make a good decision on the money to spend on that. So if we could get that,
Yeah.
that gives us apples to
Would
compare.
this estimate also include the removal of the chimney down to, say, 3 or 4 feet from the top of the roof as well, or? Because that's, you know, that's causing a lot of damage as far as the corner wall over here as well.
Well, I think that needs to be done too.
Yeah.
But,
Which is something you wouldn't do now until next spring,
right,
you know?
but the boilers,
Yeah.
we need a quote of what that's gonna cost and what they think the life of the system would be if we did that. Okay, so that we can know, so we can plan on money-wise what we're gonna have to. Are we gonna have an auction for there's a lot of furniture at the jail and kitchen equipment, and I hate to see all that kitchen equipment just go bad.
Yeah, just that.
We could have an auction, and is that in the plans to?
Not that I'm aware of. The only auction prospect that I talked to was, when Jason was there, and then when Jason left, I talked to Travis about some surplus equipment at the county highway. And, I said, if you guys want to have an auction, I said, I'd be glad to do the auction, try the auction. For nothing. Be glad to do it.
And yeah, that's something we could get both the county highway, and I don't know if we got extra equipment here in the courthouse, but I know like that refrigerator
Yeah.
system was really good shape, and they said works really well, and I mean, we should get what we
You mean
can.
stuff we rolled out. Yeah. So,
So if we could get some,
yeah, we could.
plans rolling on that, and
Ideal spot would be to have it there at be there at the fairgrounds. You know,
Well, I'm hearing that the jail is unlocked, right?
I don't know what status is of the jail.
I think that's what I'm hearing, is still unlocked, but there's still stuff in there that
yeah,
the
there's a lot
sheriff
of,
needs to get out.
There was some, last time we were in there was some clothing in there in that laundry room. All the phones were still over there. I asked months ago to have them in case we, would need, because they're the same phones as ours, that we have here in the courthouse. So instead of
Yeah,
buying
that's
new, I would like to use those. And there's some other equipment things over there as well, so
Yeah, there's
needs to come
desk.
from someone else to get that cleaned out. Yes.
Our furnaces right now ready to go. Are they okay? What repair do we need on these boilers and furnaces right now? Are we ready to go for the one?
No, they're not ready. This is man right here today, he says,
The south boiler is really got a bad short in it somewhere. We'll kick off the breakers. And I gotta reach in there and reset the relay. It's hot. If it goes down, the gaskets in the bottom will leak probably 2 to 3 gallons of water on the floor. So it gets hot, then the gaskets will still back up. But you never know. I stop in here on the weekends and check. I can tell by the steam if it's not running. And just reset. We can run on morning. But say we don't do anything. I'm in the middle of this, but say the south one goes down and then the north one goes, we're done. You know what I mean?
as far as the boilers themselves, the boilers are fine. These are segmented cast iron rings that are all squeezed together by big, long, tight, tie rods. And you just go through, disassemble them, regasket them, put them together, put new controls. The controls are just as antiquated as anything. As far as the boilers go, the boilers, they still make these same boilers today. But the controls are antiquated, they need to be replaced. That's what we're talking about.
They're really old, not really a whole lot to them, really, just look at them. You got like a little disc, maybe some fire, kick off, and a couple relays, basically, and a couple loaders. Not a whole lot to them.
We're talking to media, is it supposed to be fixed right now? Is that what we're thinking about? Instead of
Been nice.
waiting, do we need to get them fixed or
I would
wait?
definitely fix the south, because that's the one sticking out, and the one leaking. Now, you probably wouldn't have to mess with the gaskets, because, they will still back. But the controls, there's definitely, it's probably been 2 or 3 years.
Or can you have a leak in carbon monoxide?
It is water.
I'm just looking at the building, how you got to break down middle of January, February, and have a problem.
Well, there's no guarantee, they might be fine, I could probably keep them on caution. But, I don't know. I don't know if you got to order special parts, they can get parts, but they go down, you don't have to order them. They're not, we don't have them stock.
I think you can fix that part right now.
Yeah, and there's money budgeted, so you guys could, there's money.
If it needs
We
upgrade.
don't even have to vote on that if it's done this year, because there's
Make
money
a call today.
budgeted, so, yeah.
We got a heat in here. We gotta do, that's part of it. We gotta do that. Sleeping in there, fix it.
Well, yeah, the chimney is probably not gonna be done until spring, But, look, we need to get those boilers fixed then. So, their motion to give them approval to.
Yeah, I'll make
We
it.
got, okay. All those in favor?
Yes.
So.
Is that something that needs to be put on our agenda for tonight too?
Yeah, so I mean, that's what I'd say, it needs to be fixed and there's money budgeted, so for this year.
I'd have Rick get a call and see if he gets money and get a price by tonight. That's doable. Or we can keep it moving. Just that part. See,
I agree with that.
Anything else?
Oh, on the auction deal,
You guys maybe
Well,
talk about it
there was-
tonight and.
there was
see what-
discussion about cutting power to the jail. But I guess it has to have power to the tower, so you can't cut the power to the jail.
We're just not getting billed for it. But I did notify the city.
As far as the security of the still building, I cannot vouch for that.
There's locks, well, and there are locks on the door now, where,
Yeah, and I guess electronic control posts,
and if we got power, then if they're electronically controlled, then we ought to be able to.
Chief Deputy Trout said if you kill the power, then it kills the circuitry to the locks, and you can't lock it. But if it's got power going to it, the building could be locked before the anchor.
Okay. Nobody's here from the sheriff's department,
No, there is no lock.
so if they're here tonight, I'd ask them about that, make sure that building's locked up, and then.
Yeah,
If we got power, then they should be locked, if it's not already locked.
find that.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. Auditor permission to do transfers within 200s, 300s, and 400s through the end of 2030. Here, Jim Lee made a motion, second. Bill, all those in favor?
Yes.
So. Okay, good. I know we have something for 911, if you want to come on up.
It's not that bad.
No.
Okay, so I gave you guys a paper. What this is a quote to put West Point Fire on our consoles. West Point, we call right now, Tippecanoe County to get them dispatched in our area. But we want to add West Point on our console, so it'd be easier for us to dispatch West Point. We use them a lot for mutual aid for Attica, in Davis Township. They are paid to cover Davis Township. I have the money for this. It would just be easier for us. We have, we have Perrysville on our console, so we dispatch them directly, so then we do like this for West Point.
In Allen Township, right?
Yeah.
So, okay. But you've got money.
I'll have to move some around, but I have the money.
Okay, so she just wants approval. She's got the money, if we can go ahead and vote to approve it. Give the amount, so the motion to do that. Second. Jim Lee, all those in favor?
Yes.
6-0. Okay.
Thanks.
Any other public comments or anything before we start on our? Yep.
Back on the furniture or the kitchen equipment over at the jail, the sheriff told me it was up to the insurance. Has that been changed?
No, that was the damage at the new jail. I'm talking about the kitchen equipment at the old jail. There's some furniture when you first come in, and there's some desks and things, and I mean, we have to sell anything we can sell, so. That's what we're talking about. The insurance paid for that equipment, and they're going after get reimbursed. So. Anything else? Okay, additional appropriations, bridge repairs, $150,000. That's advertised, and there's comment about the additional appropriation. Hearing none, is there a motion to approve an additional appropriation for Cume Bridge? $100,000. Tom, second. Dale, all those in favor?
Yes.
So. Transfer coroner, he's had a couple autopsies and does not have enough money in there, so he's transferring $1,008 from toxology, $295 from body transport, $220 from medical supplies, $200 from on-call for a total of $1,723 to autopsy expense. Is there a motion to
Can I
allow that?
stop you before you get a motion? I don't know if you can do this, but that kind of pretty much depletes his budget for the year, so I don't know if you want to pay for the autopsies out of commissioner's budget or something, I don't know. I don't have time to do additional appropriation. But
Right,
that's really gonna eat away $1,700.
well, and we've got to pay.
Right, so I didn't know if the county general commissioners, I could maybe take the group health insurance and create a line item for autopsies, for, due to the lateness and.
Or we can just, if we have more come in, we can just transfer
Okay,
that point
good.
from,
Do
yeah.
a claim adjustment or something at
Yeah.
that point, okay.
Okay.
I just didn't wanna, freeze up his budget, and he has nothing left for the rest of the year, because he's not gonna know when something comes up.
Now,
This is an ongoing, been ongoing the whole year.
we just had, well, we had, an autopsy on 74 and then, another one. He told me, and when we budget, we don't know how many autopsies we're gonna have for a year. And, so, I mean, we can
Do this, and then if,
we have any more expenses, then we can, since you've already you
Already
don't
advertised.
advertise it, but it's already, it's done, so I'll just do this way and then.
You want to do it this way now?
yes, and I guess, and then that way, if anything else comes up, I'm gonna have to hopefully.
Does this deplete all these little items? though? Does
It's
it
pretty
deplete?
close, but he doesn't have a lot left. I don't know if I sent his budget, to you. Print it out. All right. We'll kind of debate,
Well, do you want to do 1723 for me?
He doesn't have a lot.
So you only have, 1,008 completely wipes out his toxology.
He's got about 6,000 of unexpended expenses that, taking into account, he's,
Yeah, salary part of
1,500
that,
is-
Some of
yeah.
that is, you have operating money till next month.
Body transport, 7.
so he's
Now, he will
got
still
4,000.
have a little bit of money in body transport. 4,500 and then 2,000, he's gonna have about $2,000 left in the budget for the rest of the year. Now, that salary is taken care of.
Well, they run $1,500, $2,000.
Depends what they do.
Yeah.
Maybe steps are all good. These things will.
Yeah, we can't do additional right now for DLGF and advertise it,
And
so.
that is one thing, since we moved the council meeting up to the second week, that's gonna help. You'll have time to do additional appropriation next year in December. But this year, it's past DLGF's deadline. for doing additions. So we're gonna go ahead and do this, and then,
Yeah, let's just go ahead and do this, and then if we.
I'll make a motion.
Second. Dale? All those in favor?
Yes.
Commissioners, transfer $5,181.75 from group health to liability insurance. That's for the blank employee bond. Is there a motion to approve that transfer?
Yes.
Emily, second. Dale, all those in favor?
yes,
So. Transfer circuit court, $3,259.48 from CSI to postage. Why is there, I just have a question on postage, because the clerk tells us that she sends out everything for the judge's office now.
No, she does the majority, and I transfer at the beginning of the year, I give her some of my budget. The savings on the 3,000 was the subscription that we generally use for the video arraignment, and that was budgeted, but we changed to Zoom and a lot of those things, so I wanted to, one, pre-buy postage before it goes up again, we use the machine, and also we are sending out, we do all of our jury notices, and now we're having to do it in 2 rounds, and we're getting ready to send out for 2021, obviously. We're sending out at the beginning of the year, so not only do we have, we're paying at least 2 months, because we have COVID questionnaires we have to send out now. I don't know exactly how much it's going to be, and so my thought is have enough in there, but it might be something that I'll be able to come to you under CARES and say the 2nd ounce or the 2nd and 3rd ounce are directly attributable to the questionnaires that we have to send for COVID. So, but it's gonna be a lot more. And I'm trying to take advantage of it before it goes up again to pre-buys.
there a
We
motion?
also have to pay the postage, sorry, we interrupted, for them to send it back to us. So we're sending it to them and they come it back, so.
Is there a motion for that transfer? Dale, second. Tom, all those in favor?
Probation, yeah.
yes,
And there we talked, you didn't want to, did you?
I don't know, I still wanted to be, I just
Okay,
wanted,
Do
but
you want her to address the probation?
sure. If
if
you
you
want,
want to talk about it, later, I have hearings that.
and have you got the figure? I know Tom and I talked about it, that, when we had,
I think I have my mind wrapped around it, that I can explain it in general terms, pretty simple if you want me to.
okay, sure.
Back in 2014, before Judge Henderson had 3 or 4 probation budgets that she did. And basically she was, it was just kind of a runaround of money. And so what she did is authorize for that year in 2014, money, probationers pay a one-time fee, and then probationers pay monthly fees. And what she did is authorize that all of the one-time fees would go to the county, and half of the monthly fees that are collected as they're on probation would go. And in exchange, you all would pay the probation salaries instead of doing budgets for them. It was just kind of simplifying it, because really she was just chasing the money. And so then that happened in 2014. This was before I got here. 2015, the clerk's office switched all their financials over to Odyssey because, court services required it. And what happened is, as you can imagine, they were both labeled probation. One was administrative and one was monthly, and they got switched. So since 2015, and we collect a whole lot more monthly fees, a whole lot more. Somebody might pay $100 for their one-time fee, and they're paying $25 for 3 or 4 years. So you can imagine, every month plus an initial fee, how much more. So what has happened is both funds have a very decent cushion, but particularly the monthly one, you all have been, what has been transferred, Paula has been remitting to you all. Brenda has been transferring to the county 100% of the monthly fees and 50% of the one-time fees. And I didn't have any reason to look at it. It was when we all went electronic. I can't say that it was any one person's fault. It was just a series of missteps. And then Robin and Brenda came to me and said, hey, probation's broke. Because how we do our budget is we budget it, but there's always way more than enough money. And to Robin's credit, we now collect, I mean, you heard me say this before, but in 15, I think they collected $16,000 in monthly fees. By July of this year, they had collected $76,000. I mean, we go after it. But we still, it's a non-reverting fund, and it's in the revenue. And so we were scratching our head. Robin figured it out. I sat down, went back to halfway in 2015, which is when we converted. You'll also remember at that time, we had a lot going on with the clerk's office. Jessica was sick, and so we had to switch there too. And I think that, that probably helped it not get discovered. So I have sat down, figured out, okay, you should have been receiving, and also the chemical test fee was never authorized to be switched over to the county because that's, should fund itself. The probationers are paying to have their drug screens, and then we buy and process the drug screens, and it should just be a clearinghouse. The county's been receiving all of that as well. So I sat down and did all the numbers, and I'm happy to give them to you. I'm happy to go sit down with one of you and Brenda, because it's really as simple as, because only, and I'm not trying to make this a power struggle or anything, but really how it should have been happening is every time a claim, money was taken out of there, the court or Robert should have been signing off on it, but it's just not how it was done. And I'm not pointing fingers, but anyway, it's as simple as from halfway through 15 to now, how much in the fund that you should have received all of we kept that should go to you. And then in the fund that we should have been giving you half of, or we had agreed to give you half of in the court's budget, have been taking all of and netted out. So I've gone over those numbers. They're going to be a little startling. I'm just going to tell you that right now. I'll tell you what they are here, or I'll go through everything and then let somebody wrap their mind around it and then come back to another meeting. But I wanted to wait till Brenda got through with all the budget, and everything's been kind of crazy with everything this fall, so I didn't want to just dump everything on her. Does any of that make sense?
Yeah, but I would like, when that report is made out, I'd like the clerk to sign off on it too, so when State Board of Accounts looks over and says, why did you transfer this money from your county general back into these funds, that we have a signed off that everyone is in agreement with that.
Yes, and I have it handwritten out. I'm no accountant by any means. I mean, it's fairly simple math. I just wanted, before I typed it all out and, put, okay, here's what was authorized here, I wanted somebody to go through it so that we're all on the same.
And if we need to have the clerk's office, I mean, there's so many fees she collects, clerk fees, pauper attorney fees, pretrial diversion. We need to make a couple more lines for their drug testing
And we've done that, so that's gonna be going.
So-
I did create a new fund for the chemical test fee, and in the past, before we converted to in 14, we pretty general, we had a lot of like ambulance fees, sheriff fees, and we had a lot of fees for the clerks, and a lot of those got lumped together because the clerk, I think, was sending what portion needed to be sent to the state. So then what was needing to be received in for the county's portion, I just did, and it just stayed in county general. No one was really, it didn't get transferred anywhere, it just went to county general. Okay, now fast forward, when you guys had your conversion upstairs, it just, like I said, things were titled kind of close, but so you thought it was going into the right at the time.
In a perfect scenario, her fund is going to be named exactly the same as
Yes.
Paula's fund, so that there's no confusion. Unfortunately, Paula's fund is admin here, and the county fund is admin over here, and so it's very confusing. I mean, it's taken me a while to wrap my mind around it and wonder, but, no, I agree, for everyone's protection.
And I will have a folder, with that information in there, so that I'll probably put it in there with grants, so that when Colleen does get audited next year for 2020s, it's all gonna be together.
And how are those chemical fees paid now?
How are they paid to the county now, or how by probation?
When we pay whoever is charging to do those tests, where's that money coming
It
out
is
of?
set upstairs in the clerk's office, and she has a line item. We have communicated with one another, so I have that chemical test fee fund set up on ours, And it's set up upstairs too, so
Right.
that it's going straight.
to receive in, but when we pay out, how's it been
It's
paid
coming
out?
out of our budget, that's what it is, it comes out of her 2501 line item. And that's great, but it's also been going all to you all rather than, we're
So
paying
this
for
way,
it, but we're
she's
not
just
receiving the
gonna-
money from the probationers, it's just.
Now, she'll just use that chemical test fee fund
Pay out.
and to pay out.
But if no money's been going in, how's she been paying that out?
Out of this probation
It's going in
fund
there
that's now
now.
upside down.
It's going in there now since September, I created it.
But in the 5 years, how's it been paid?
It was coming out of 2501, and we had enough of a cushion when this all
Okay, and
this
that's why
started,
you're
yeah.
down to.
Yeah, there was like
Yeah,
76,000 in there, and so, and Robin told her, I mean, she didn't know, hey, I need to be looking at this, because she was just working off of, well, we have $10,000 budgeted for that. Not how much is really in there, that's that problem, so then,
She needs some time. She needs some time to get this straightened out.
Yeah, I mean, well, maybe by our December meeting, you can,
well, I'd
Tack
like,
those
yeah, I mean,
figures, and
I'll
then
send
we
Brenda,
can-
but I'd like for one of you to kind of have a grasp on it, because I feel like, as things change, we do need to have that memorialization of what we did here, and have someone from the council sign off on it as well as the auditor, so that, we have three minds that are collectively saying, we agree. And we're not gonna get it down to the penny probably, but I mean, we have, for the most part, all of the reports. Paula can give me a couple, that's why I went back to 15 instead of 14. That's why.
And I supplied whatever information I had, since I've been auditor for state board accounts, reporting, my annual reports. So it's showing what kind of beginning balances, what expenditures and receipts, were for each year.
I want to get it done before Brenda, leaves office, because I don't want one, dump all this on Pauline, and two, have to explain everything to her. I feel like Brenda's better than that. Well, I mean, it's not fair for you. Hey, by the way, let's go spend 5 hours on this.
Yeah, okay.
Everything else going on.
Yeah, well, and we can prove it.
Okay. All right,
Us at the December meetings,
okay, all right.
okay?
Will you just let me know when you're ready, and who wants to be my person?
I'll
Did you
I'll meet with her and go over it.
Okay.
Okay, it's just
I'll
a
get
number.
with you
Yeah,
sometime.
yeah, okay, very good, thank you. Have a good day, everyone.
Like, next week, yeah.
Yeah, just you have my cell phone, just text me when it would work good for you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, transfer county general radio dispatch, $3,000.
Wait a minute,
Hold
yeah.
on.
I got issues. This thing stopped and probably all that she just said did not get recorded.
That's on here.
Huh?
That's on
It was on here, so we're
Okay,
good
so
there.
we're okay, okay. So we have $3,000 from operator to office supplies and $1,800 from travel to office supplies. I assume that's for this radio that,
No, that's
No?
probably for, chairs, new chairs, that.
okay, I did see that email. Okay, is there a motion for that transfer? Second? Bill, all those in favor?
Yes.
Bill? Transfer $8,000 from capital outlay to telephone and $4,980 from capital outlay to computer maintenance. LRPC contract. Is that on that contract that
Yes,
last month that everybody that had the jail?
that's to get us
we
through the
voted on
end of the
last
year.
month? Okay. So it's way increased speed, AT&T new equipment. So it's a total of $12,980. Is there a motion to present? Wait, second. All those in favor?
Yes.
Transfer seated to courthouse, $1,000 from building repairs to repair and maintenance, $754.01 from building repairs to the elevator wheelchair. Repairs were needed on the wheelchair lift. Is there a motion for that $1,754.01 transfer? Dale, second. Bill? All those in favor?
Yes.
So, transfer seated, emergency management, $220 from travel mileage to, computer maintenance. Motion for transfer. Jim Lee, second. Tom, all those in favor?
yes,
So, transfer, seated, emergency management, $220 from travel mileage to, telephone. Motion for that transfer. Dale, second. Jim Lee, all those in favor?
yes,
So, transfer, public safety jail, $450 from, operating supplies to kitchen. Is that? What is that for?
Did I not give you paper on that?
Yeah.
Say, what
Because,
is
it goes all into inmate population. Outlives the budget.
But I didn't, yeah, but I don't know, we had a line item that just says kitchen.
You go out.
Well, unless I typed the wrong thing.
I would think it'd be meals or, I don't remember.
You get the budget, Vernon. 22,081. Well, she had something else for operating supplies and
That's what I would think it'd be operating supplies instead of kitchen.
it's going 22,020 to 22,081. I think like I said. For next year's.
Still.
That's what we're doing.
So it's not kitchen.
It does say kitchen here.
Yeah. Yeah, but that,
Well, what it says on that.
I don't think you'll 2020. Oh, sorry.
A second, I'm trying to find. This kitchen.
You, approve that? Second? All in favor?
yes,
Oh, well, when we moved out some heavy things, they weren't centered equally on there and then the, what's Rick? He's not there. Okay, anyway, it bent the platform, so you had to fix that. So when we're moving things in and out, I mean, people need to be very patient on pushing the button because it gets stuck. You know, they think it should operate, you just barely put, you gotta hold the button in and hold it at all times. But when they were moving, I think they were moving some of those tile cabinets. And I don't think it got equally distributed. Anyway,
I've read that thing.
So it had to be
a couple times,
repaired.
just for fun. That's the greatest thing about it.
Okay, CARES Act relief funds transferred to county general. So, $315, okay, $315,086.70. Fair motion to transfer that to the various funds listed. Have we billed Warren County for that?
I have not billed Warren County for their portion of the health trust or the local health maintenance COVID-related portion. That's all I was gonna bill them. So I have not, I do have on my radar, let me go get it. For the health department, we had some overtime. I have not billed Warren County for that. It's like 27,000. Let me
Because
get
they
that.
would like those bills pretty quickly, so.
And I had
before they
to,
spend all
I
that.
had to stop the overtime for the health department just so that I could kind of balance my books and balance there what has been spent so far. So you would know which funds things were taken out, because we had public safety, we had jailers here helping, courthouse security. And then I think we thought we were gonna get an IT grant through the health department that, got pulled, so now I need to take it out of CARES Act funds, and I did reflect all those notations. So I get paper for the health.
So that we turned in bills to wipe out the money that the state has given us for CARES, and this transfers to the different categories that the money was spent out of, and then we have $239,722.99 that will COVID-19 account line that both commissioners and council have to approve before any money is spent on that, so. Do we vote on this?
Yes.
President. Okay, and then money that has already been paid needs to be approved for COVID-19, your list there.
And if you notice the J&B medical, a lot of those things, that is for the ambulance service. And before we went after the remaining funds through the salary reimbursement, we had told Garth that he needed to turn those bills into Joe, down emergency management, so that we could take those out of the CARES Act fund. And so that is the listing of those. Those are going through the claims that will get approved tonight during the commissioners meeting. But I want to list each one of those, so you would know what
This will leave now a balance of unused CARES Act. $2,000.90.
And that being said, we probably should get 18 to 20,000 from Warren County. They have not paid. Susan sent them a health department salary, but after going through it with her, she's got second quarter of the COVID line item that we created in the health department, and the third quarter and second quarter has some figures, and so it was showing some of our reimbursable monies going in, so it didn't give a true expense. And so I really didn't want to take off our HIPAA CARES reimbursement and bill Warren County, minus that. I needed to build in there the true 0.3333 of what was spent. And so I do have a spreadsheet here, correcting what was billed originally. And like I said, they have not paid. And so we'll bill them like the rest of their budget that's not COVID related, and then it's calculated that 0.333. They have not been billed for the COVID overtime for the health department. And like I said, that came to $20,676.65. So once I do a correction billing, then I will include the local health, the trust, COVID related items only, and then we should be.
$1,000. Are we restricted as to how much time we have left?
No, because we've already spent, we turned in enough bills that the 536,000 that the state gave us, the federal gave the state, we've spent it all. And so this is, it's going into a line item that we can
Spend through the end of this year. Now, if you want to, if there's still a balance at the end of December 31st, you're going to have to create a line item next year, because we did not do that.
So it's a carryover. 21. We can use it
You're gonna have to carry over whatever the balance is in next year. We didn't budget for that, so you're probably gonna have to transfer from a line item that dollar amount so that you can spend it in 2021. For
Right,
travel
it'll have to be,
purposes.
yeah, it's like additional.
Either do
appropriation.
additional or just transfer.
Okay, but both the commissioners and the council have to vote. Any spending of that money.
And
Because we don't know, we may need to buy more masks, we don't know what we're gonna,
your
but we don't
restrictions
have
are
to.
not,
We
they're
don't have to
not, your
spend it.
restrictions aren't up here now, since it's in your budget. See what I mean? They wanted to be rid of all the funds by the end of this year. And so this was their fast way of doing it. Their base thought was because you went after salary reimbursement, you were out of funds now, and that's not true. We created a line item to do that today so that we can spend out there, but it needs your approval and commissioners. Okay?
They wanted us to spend that money down,
But
and so they said we could turn in sheriff, ambulance. and
Needed
health department.
911, but I didn't do that.
Yeah, because it totaled more than $1 million. You could do their salary from the March date through September 30th. So we turned in, we wiped out that fund that had been spent by December 31st.
I was just thinking, we have to stay to the same restrictions, how to use that money. That's what I'm thinking about.
I don't think the guidelines are that strict because it's in county general now.
Right.
Because we spent the money on salaries, so it's going into our general fund, so we can, but we have to appropriate it.
And I just called it the COVID-19 line item so that everyone would know where those funds came from. It just made it more simple to track.
Okay, so this will zero out our 8,900 COVID-19 CARES Act relief grant. Transfers are done to pay those bills that are listed, so there are motion to approve the transfers and the claim adjustments and purchases made. Jim Lee, second. Tom, all those in favor?
yes,
Okay, request to use CARES Act relief fund. Fountain Warren County Health Department was to receive an IT funding from the federal government to upgrade old and outdated equipment. Unfortunately, funding was pulled. You want to?
Yeah.
Because I have a question. I mean, you're getting 3 computers, 3 laptops, and you've already bought 3 laptops out of COVID funds.
Yes,
So
so,
9 computers for 6 employees. I just
well,
had a
we
question.
bought the 3 laptops early to do our call center, which is still going. So we do a live chat sessions, and so those employees that we hired, the temporary employees, they're in, we created a little call center. So they're using those laptops in addition to, I expanded our phone service. So the 3 laptops will be for, not Lacey, Jenny, Eric, and myself. We're trying to create abilities so that we could work off-site in case we need, if, we were ill or, we had to quarantine, we would still be able to efficiently run our department. The computers are just old, and we just had 3 every year. I've been replacing when we had the opportunity with the IT funding. I just wanted to upgrade all of our computers. So that just left 3 left for our department to get upgraded. But then they pulled the funding. We could continue that. I'll just continue to do that annually as I have been.
Okay. If I was looking at those quotes, did you get any other quotes?
No,
Because my IT people at our plant said those were pretty expensive.
So they're pretty comparable to what I've had with Brad Keller in the past. I would say maybe $50 off, but I have used Brad up until this year, just because he was not accessible. And so we switched over to Romtech because I needed IT tech support. So that's who I've just been using.
I mean, I'd like to see a couple more quotes before I vote on spending money on computers.
Okay.
That's my personal opinion. I don't know.
Well, yeah, and we've spent this much historically. You know, Brad's come in at like 1,333, about that for the laptops and more for the desktops. And, you know, they have been approved in the past. So, but I can certainly get more quotes. I'm just comfortable with Rum because he set up our firewall, our sonic wall for our server. All these laptops will be configured, you know, to that system with remote access capabilities. If I could ask that I continue with the laptop and then I can do the quotes for the desktops. May I do that?
Yeah, I mean, another thing is, you know, in our offices in the courthouse, we usually we replace one computer a year, but you're replacing 3.
And I can do that.
If you get money from your, I mean, either the trust account or the, have you attempted that?
Well, yes, see, what I'm asking actually is just that I could seek reimbursement through the CARES Act. So I do have funding available through my grants. I'm just asking to have it reimbursed through the CARES Act.
$155,000 in the local health department trust account.
Devin, what you're really saying is that, I got this invoice here, $1,333 per computer, correct? And you're wanting to use CARES Act money.
Yes, I have the money to pay for these out of our, what we have right now, but then I would like to get reimbursed for it. That way, if there's other things that come up that we don't know about with COVID, we're not losing that money because it was provided by the federal government through the CARES Act. So I just, you know, aside from the initial pot of the CARES Act money, we were going to, the health departments, local health departments across the state of Indiana were going to get additional IT funding so that it would, you know, bring all of our equipment up to date. And then that got pulled by the feds. So I don't know if that would ever come up again or, but CARES Act money left. I was hoping we could just get our money from the health department's operating costs reimbursed.
You're looking at support for that's what you said, you need calls, but this, in this position, it's been a little quicker.
Yes. Yeah. So I just, I can certainly hold off on the computers because annually I have been replacing the ones that have been old. But the laptops, I think are more urgent. That way we can, you know, if we need to work from home, we can, and we have the capability of logging into our server at work and working as if we were at work. Right now, you know, if somebody works from home, we have to copy files onto a flash drive, bring it home, and who knows if those are the right files we needed. It's just cumbersome. What I'm trying to do is have the capability of working remotely and just being ready for anything.
And this is all set up for you.
Yeah,
This is all set for you on your program.
so, yeah,
There's no intermediate, direct from your office to home or vice versa.
right,
That's what you're talking about.
yes,
You can get your job done.
correct.
If I could add in, tap into this as president of the health board, they're also dealing with, personal health information, so it's imperative that they have a secure HIPAA compliant means to do their work, and I believe that this would allow for that as well.
Yeah, and I didn't even think of that component. And then ROM Technology had secured our server. It has a sonic wall now, which it hadn't before, and we did pay for that this year out of our, so, which actually I think did get reimbursed through the CARES Act. I think I did submit that one that got reimbursed.
How will Warren County be charged for that?
Probably the same.
The same way I do my billing, depending on where it's paid out. If it's paid out of the fund, the health fund, I'm gonna pick that up and bill Warren County.
How about as far as it comes down to the CARES Act? It comes down to Warren County CARES Act.
Well, if it comes out of the CARES Act, County General, then I'm gonna have to tag it to get reimbursement, and then I'll just put that money back in County General.
So this would come out of our
Yes.
219 balance instead, so you're not trying to get money out of the trust funds.
No, so when all this started, we had, I ended up getting like 50,000 from one grant trust and 40 from the other local health maintenance. And as we were spending, and then I get 20 from county. And for all of our COVID responses, I used those, I used our carryover plus the 20 from the county to pay for anything COVID related, because I did not want to touch our operating costs, our normal operating expenditures at all. So from those three, which was carryover and then the county COVID, whatever I spent out of that, I submitted those receipts to Brenda. We got 100% reimbursable. That money went back into, you know, the 20,000 that, whatever I spent from the 20 from county, from the trust account, from the local health maintenance account. So those were all
I put
reimbursed.
the money back onto her line item, kind of like how we do the gas for the highway department. If EMA purchases fuel or ambulance, whoever, they'll cut a check to the county, and then I receive it back into the highway department, and then I'll put it back, I'll appropriate that money back into her line item so that she can use it. Again, this is gonna be the same concept.
I'm okay with laptops, but just replacing 3 computers when we don't do that in the courthouse, can only replace one at a time, one a year, unless you can get fund move your computers out of that, I would be okay with that.
Yeah, and I'm okay with holding up on the computers.
So the 3 laptops and whatever the software cost would be for the laptops.
That would be great. Thank you so much.
Okay, so is there a motion to approve the laptops and second? And Lee, all those in favor?
Yes.
So now Commissioner will have to approve that tonight.
Yes. Okay. Thank you very much.
Uh-huh.
If Jackie could-
If I could, just to make you aware, we have been instructed by Ken Manette to seek alternative counsel for the health board. Make you aware that we are interviewing for alternative counsel, and we'll work to get a negotiated rate, but I think Dudley, you and I spoke about that moving forward. But I just wanted to bring that to your attention at this time.
Okay. But yes, but that counsel will only be used if you have questions, right, to bring up. They're not gonna be at all your meetings.
I can't speak to that at this point in time, as
Because
you're
there's no
aware.
money budgeted, I don't believe it's.
I believe we
Yes,
spoke
there
and
is.
there was 2,000 budgeted in the 2021. We spoke about that. I know our environmentalists do use council for a variety of things. I'm not sure of the details,
Okay,
but we do need a council representative for the department as a whole. The board uses a council when we feel the need to. But again, we have been instructed by Mr. Manette to seek alternative counsel at this time.
okay. Yeah, there is $2,000 budgeted
Okay.
for county attorney for next year.
I understand.
Okay.
My understanding was, we will work to negotiate a rate as best we can. But it is imperative that we have legal counsel available. Thank you.
Two more things.
Oh, yeah, so I have one more thing too. A couple meetings ago, we talked about sending council members the bills that are even for the commissioners meeting, you're gonna email those bills. Bill said he got them for a couple months, and Tom said he's not received them, but we could just
I
get,
think she threw
okay, if you could just email us,
okay.
but we don't need payroll.
You don't need payroll?
We don't need
Okay.
payroll, right? No one wants.
Just Terry,
Just-
Terry's doing
Okay,
the
we can have
claims.
a copy of the claims.
I'll let her know to put that on our calendar.
And then for you, for next year,
Hey,
we'd like to see a copy of it.
Anna, before you quit today, could you scroll on this thing? Jail, on this summary of contractor application for payment?
Yes, I got this yesterday, and GA Dodd LLC, evidently they completed everything that they needed to complete, so I am instructed to pay their retained and any escrow funds plus interest. So I'll process that. I just made a copy so that you could see
I just was checking all
the
the.
balance of,
Yeah.
of what was left. The bidders, funds.
There, we get back so much money on each one,
On the
right?
escrow, yes.
Yes, and so.
Like 2% or something.
Pay them all.
And so that is just instructing me to pay out. I just want to give you all a copy of that. And we don't have, more concrete figures.
So we're looking at,
I'm just gonna be paying that. So, when you look at the bottom of the original contract, so there was a summary page of what LFW do regarding jail. Just kind of summarize that. But keep in mind, I also pay out of special purpose now, anything that is left last minute. And usually I try to work with Jim Lane. So we usually communicate so that I know that I have someone on the jail building.
we're gonna clear this out this year. We're gonna clear this out,
Well, I mean, that,
2020.
not necessarily. I mean, there could still be, you got these two right there. And I don't know that I'm gonna be paying them out the rest of their, what they did on the project.
Some of their bid may not have been completed, because we took out a lot of landscaping, and a lot of it would have been islands for those trees to be in. That's the next spring, we didn't do
Was that
that.
J.R. Kelly? Because I noticed J.R. Kelly had, balance left on there.
Yeah, it would have been
There's a lot of change orders, I think, with their name on it.
a lot of them, that's true.
Mhm. So there may just end up,
We may, that may be a negative, maybe we may have money left.
so I
in
don't
that
know
contract.
how, I don't know what we're gonna do about retrieving the escrow, the amount of money that's being withheld. At some point, that's gonna have to be released, I would think. Are you
Okay,
going
ready
to the
for-
library board and then
No,
Attica Library Board? then?
yeah, in the highway, but we can do that. So Susan's told,
Evidently,
yeah,
step down, yeah.
okay. Jim, do you know Chris Hansen?
I don't know.
Okay. Well, they're asking us to appoint Chris Hansen to replace Susan Stoll on the Attica Library Board.
Yes, I see that.
Um, So, yeah, Susan did resign. Do you want to check into that a little more, wait till December meeting to vote on it, or are you comfortable?
If that's their recommendation, why, I think we'd probably go with it, so.
Okay. So is there a motion to appoint Chris Hansen to the Attica Library Board to replace Susan Stoll for partial term?
I'll make that motion.
Okay. Jim McKee, is there a second? Dale? All those in favor?
Yes.
Okay, 6-0. Okay, highway budget, VLGF says that we budgeted more for next year than what we anticipate receiving in, so we've got to, I think last year we had to cut $1 million, wasn't it?
It was $500,000, yeah.
And this year we've got to cut how much?
802,936.
Okay, so we were looking at possibly cutting the group insurance, okay, and road equipment. So we're gonna take the insurance gonna come out of the commissioner's budget then?
Yes, so in here, all the years I've known, MDH has always paid for their own health insurance for Q Bridge and Highway Department. Due to the fact of the last few years, and ever since when I came on as auditor, I noticed that the revenues were really declining. They still pay, but the last 4 years has really been, they've been hit hard, of not having enough funds, basically paycheck to paycheck. So I would recommend that the group health insurance be transferred to county general, so they would get paid out of that. Reassessment would obviously pay their 2 people, and I have a spreadsheet where we have the different departments paying out of different funds, but I think in this case, that would be a huge amount that could be shifted and have the commissioners help out with that. And I noticed that some other counties have been budgeting for either road equipment, leases, or something in the commissioner's budget because the MDH cannot handle it like they have in the past. When you have the state police getting their cut off top, and then whatever's left, makes it hard.
So we cut the group insurance to 0, which means we'll probably have an additional appropriation next year. Road equipment to $30,349, then we would reduce our budget $802,936, which would let us sign off on our VLGF 70 years.
Okay, so I'll just go ahead and sign off on the paperwork. Because last year what we did, Jason bought ahead there at the end. I think he bought like $200,000 or $300,000 worth of stuff. So we went ahead and signed off on the 1782 back then, but it just kind of worked itself out. And I don't think we're gonna be that lucky this time. Because when I look at their unexpended budget, it's like $596,000. And when I look at the balances in the special MDH, it comes to about that.
Okay, so is there a motion to cut the group insurance to 0 and drop the road equipment so that we meet the requirement of VLGF? Dale, second. Bill, all those in favor?
Yes.
Okay, 6-0.
I'll make those changes and submit it.
What was that total?
802,936. Anything else?
I don't think so.
I think Brent, gave you a schedule for next year. Commissioners are gonna meet on the first and third Monday mornings now, so we're gonna change ours to the second Monday of every month. Everybody okay with that?
Yes.
And then when we get more into the year, we've got our budget hearings for August 9th, but, we don't get our figures from the state till July of what our money's gonna be. And Colleen and I talked, when we get closer to that, if we need to change our budget hearings to September and approve our budget in October, we'll do that. And then also October 11th is Columbus Day, which courthouse is closed. And when we get closer, Colleen said she's okay with coming in and we have our meeting that day, or if we want to change it to the fourth Monday, we can do that. Anybody got a preference on that? The way it is right now. Okay. So, anything else? Yeah. Yes.
Like I said, in June, I sent an email to the judge regarding getting reimbursement for courthouse fees, because she was gonna pay a portion. Because I got scared that we didn't have enough money to pay Bill for the rest of the year, but we did in the sheriff's budget. Work that out with her, but she was gonna contribute $4,924 so that he's paid the same as the other. Kent was.
Well, no, I mean, it's paid lower because.
He was paid lower, 39, but I think she was gonna contribute.
No, we cut it. First.
We were budgeting 35 and she was supposed to do the.
Right, he wasn't gonna be the same pay as the other deputies because the matron.
Right.
Right,
Yes.
yes, okay.
But I think in the budgeted, I went ahead and budgeted the full amount of the sheriff's budget
Oh, I thought
with the anticipation that she would get this and I would receive it into county general.
we got 36,000. Yeah,
I'm talking this year.
oh, I think we did.
35,000 was supposed to be in the sheriff's budget, but we budgeted the whole amount, the 39,000, whatever.
And we
But she-
budgeted in hers for this year?
For 2020, it was in the sheriff's budget.
Yeah.
Yes. But she was gonna contribute from her probation funds, I thought.
Oh, she got a problem with the probation fund, so I don't think we're gonna get that.
Well, I don't
this year,
either.
so-
I think what's gonna happen, and like I said, I've already got it budgeted in the sheriff's budget. I'm not
Yes,
too concerned
yeah.
about that.
No.
But I wanted to try and get reimbursement for the internet and everything like she's done in the past, but since we overpaid, we need to pay that back, but I need to make sure this stuff is considered as well. Calculations. That's all I have.
Anybody else have anything? Okay, next meeting is what?
21st,
Oh, yeah, before Christmas, December 21st then. Is there a motion to adjourn? Second, all in favor?
Yes.
Hey, thank you, Jim.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
there. Okay, that's it.
Yep.
All right.
It's gonna be, county general, commissioner's budget.
Okay, so not CARES.
It's using CARES fund.
Do that or?
Well, it's gonna be CARES Act, but it's paid out of county general, because I've already transferred the money. They just have to
Yeah.
ask
Hey,
to
the,
use the CARES Act.
Sign for the,
Okay.
over the ambulance building, you guys paid for, are you gonna bring that up?
No, I think we're just gonna pass it on to them. And she
Oh, I had Tom and Dale.
Does Warren County realize that some of this money's gonna be coming out of their CARES Act too?
That's why originally, when I sent for our reimbursement, I did 100%, and that's when, we were talking